What's up? My name's Jim from the Union. A little bit of a break from our normal schedule where we do the Vital live, but here in Snowshoe for the second to last World Cup of the year, we're having some signal difficulties. Don't know what goes on here, but I think it's some US special operations. Someone explain that big telescope. But yeah, here we are. We're lucky enough this week to be pitting with Öhlins USA. They've been kind enough to give us a corner of their display, big rig setup, which is super sick. It feels very VIP compared to our European setup, but it's been cool. So yeah, I'll take you on a little tour, show us what we're doing, answer a few questions, explain some bike setup techniques and tips and changes we've made for this track. It's definitely, I think anyway, the trickiest track of the year. So it definitely takes some thought in line choice and bike setup, just to build rider confidence and yeah, try to keep things rolling in those sketchy, slippy rocks. So yeah, follow me in. This week we're lucky enough to have 3 mechanics, which is good because we've got the whole squad back here in Snowshoe. So it just helps the workload, and with the track's pretty harsh on bikes as well, especially in the wheel department. So yeah, just having an extra set of hands there for just washing bikes or changing wheels is a massive help. So yeah, super grateful for that, and obviously the fact that it's legend Dougie makes a big difference as well. So we'll go have a little chat with him and see what he's saying. Dougie, yeah. You're semi-live on Vital MTB YouTube here.
Semi-live.
Semi-live.
Is that like the semi on a Saturday morning?
No, it's way better than the semi on a Saturday morning. Right. With the Union this week, how's it been going?
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm loving being here. Yeah, hanging out with you guys.
That's it. When was the first time you were at Snowshoe again? What year was it?
Shoot, it was in the 90s, but I can't think back that far at the moment. You caught me.
Yeah, caught you off guard.
Caught me off guard a bit.
And that was for Steve Pete back in the day, was it?
It was Steve Pete and GT and that whole GT crew back in the day, and those were some good days as well. Cool. And yes, it was raining.
Yeah. How much harder was the bike work back then? What?
You know what? To be honest, it's the same. You show up and there's always something to do, and yeah, it's just as hard or just as easy. Every day is a different day.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so sick to have Dougie here. It's like couldn't have more knowledge from one person. So yeah, super grateful for that. And
I'm learning from you now.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
I am going that far.
But yeah, carry on. We got Josh in this corner here. He's prepping. It looks like Ollie's bike now. So yeah, Ollie's the hottest property on the circuit as well. So maybe the most valuable bike in the pits right now. Who knows? But yeah, just doing some end of day switches. Gonna do a few wheel builds tonight. Yeah. Got a fresh shot from Industry 9 and rims, so yeah, just trying to keep things fresh while we can do, and also save taking a little bit of product across the border to Mont-Saint-Anne. So that's going to make things a little bit easier. But yeah, this week Josh is working on Ollie and Antoine's bike. So yeah, 2 of our elites. And yeah, like I was saying, the workload's pretty high this week. But yeah, doing a stellar job of that one. Unfortunately, Chris Hauser took a bit of a tumble today, resulting in a broken wrist and a broken middle finger. I don't know if I can put that there, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, that is unfortunately end of season for him, but obviously insane how far he's coming from, that first win where at team camp nobody knew who he was. He had such a small following. He was just this young 16-year-old Italian kid that, no one had ever heard of, and the progress he's made with the Union over that time is pretty mind-blowing. So yeah, stoked for him to get into the off-season, get strong, train, recover from his injuries, and see what he can do next year. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. But yeah, a bummer that he's not going to be riding the last 2 World Cups. But yeah, is what it is, part of it. So I had an alley track out there, and yeah, even the best riders have been going down today. So yeah, all part of it. But yeah, now you've seen our setup, I can take you on a bit of a tour of the rest of what Öhlins have. It's pretty cool. This is their truck that they take to all the major events, whether like in and outside of mountain biking. I think its main one is like Harley Davidson festivals in the USA. So yeah, it's supremely kitted out for everything suspension related, and yeah, the knowledge of the guys is cool as well. We've been doing all sorts of reshimming and stuff over the past few days, and just taking advantage of their knowledge, the equipment and tools they have there. So yeah, that's been really cool. But yeah, over this side, no one cares about the mountain bikes when you got that in there. Riding around on that is pretty mind-blowing. A cake. Don't know what it's like visually, but yeah, it's got the same stack as Dakota Norton as well. So yeah, definitely a trend. An interesting fact about this bike is when they launched it, they didn't take it to any mountain bike or moto style events. They took it to, I think it was like a Milan fashion furniture festival, and apparently everyone was swooning over it, like saying, talking about the shapes and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty ugly, but I had a spin on it the other day and it was real fun. So yeah, definitely that there. So yeah, their display cab, which has the full Öhlins mountain bike range on it. Öhlins has expanded quite a lot in the last couple of years, so they've got everything from XC race bikes. They have suspension on the cross-country circuit now as well, so regardless of whether it's XC to downhill, everything in between, they now have a product to suit, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we're confident that it's probably the best suspension product out there, and it's highly tunable. Found out over the past couple of days how easy it is to work on and tune the setup for you. So yeah, if you're in Snowshoe, come have a look and see what they've got on display. And then beyond the mountain bike stuff, we have everything. I'm not going to pretend to know what half of it is, but yeah, huge dampers, shocks, for I guess everything from moto to trophy trucks. Yeah, and it's quite cool as well. They've been showing us how a lot of the technology and engineering intertwines between disciplines. So a lot of the downhill stuff is taken from the moto side, so it's basically just engineered in exactly the same way but just on a smaller scale, which is really cool. Obviously they've been proving suspension in other fields for so long, so it's cool to see them bring it over to mountain biking, take what they've learned, adapt it to the discipline, the terrain, that kind of thing. So that's been really cool. But yeah, I don't know if we can get a close look at this shock here, which I guess is a trophy truck shock, but yeah, you use my 5mm Allen key for scale. She's big. But yeah, super cool to see, and yeah, technology is pretty mind-blowing. And then in here, I've not actually been in here yet, I don't know if I'm allowed in here, but this is the workshop that they take on the road. So yeah, dynos, cabinets full of everything you could possibly want. The Öhlins casting couch. We don't know what goes on in here behind the scenes, but I'll let you decide that one yourselves. But yeah, insane setup. Like, yeah, everything you could want, suspension needs and stuff. So yeah, amazing being able to tap into this. Obviously we do what we can do at the races normally, but we, suspension wise anyway, we have nowhere near these facilities to use and explore. So yeah, it's been really cool to use that, make advantage of it really. So especially for Frida, obviously we've seen, if you've seen these live videos in the past before, that's things that Frida's probably the one we've experimented most when it comes to setup. So just now actually, I've reshimmed her fork and shock to give her a lighter rebound tune. Just because she's lighter, has lower spring rate, we want it to be basically remain as active as possible, especially for a track like Snowshoe, where the bike is kind of all over the place, like choppy rocks and that kind of thing. We want it to, the wheel to maintain contact with the ground as much as possible, and the only way we can do that really efficiently anyway is to quicken up the rebound, so when the tyre does leave the ground, it can return as quickly as possible to maintain grip and traction. So yeah, this is the setup here. It's pretty sick. Coffee machine, we've not seen any of that yet, so we'll have to whip the boys into shape. But yeah, back out. This is their secondary setup to the right there. It's pretty crammed in there, so I won't go in, but that is the mountain bike specific van. So that goes to all the US mountain bike events. So if anyone is watching this that goes to those races that has Öhlins product, you can go there, tap into that, and yeah, use their knowledge. And if you did want anything revalving, servicing, yeah, the guys seem pretty on hand to help with that. So definitely bear in mind, if you are thinking about buying a new suspension product, then yeah, obviously after service and all that kind of stuff is something to take into account. So yeah, can really highly vouch for that. And yeah, experiencing their knowledge this week, they definitely know what they're talking about, and that's been really cool. But yeah, I guess we'll go back and see what's going on in the tent here. Another thing that's cool is a lot of our sponsors are US based. So Industry 9, another one, which again in the previous live videos we've tapped into a lot. In terms of their reliability, which has been amazing, and little setup hacks when it comes to spoke tension and stuff. Dave offered to help us re-rim a load of wheels, so yeah, Dougie's just getting those ready to go, and they said by the morning we'll be rolling on fresh wheels, so yeah, that's really sick. So yeah, big shout out to those guys as well, and again, yeah, their insight, having that physically there is really cool. Obviously we do get support from them electronically over email and stuff, and it's been really cool. But to actually be face to face and yeah, just chat and stuff's been really cool. So yeah, big thanks to those guys as well. It's been really sick. But yeah, I guess we can show you. I'll take a little tour on Frida's bike, show you a couple of the other changes we've made for this track. One of the most interesting changes we've made since the last live videos in the brake department. So conventionally on most bikes, most production mountain bikes that you buy in a shop, you would see a big rotor on the front and a small rotor on the back, so 200 on the front, 180 on the back, for example. But something we're experimenting with is doing the opposite. So on Frida's bike now we have a 223 rotor on the back and a 200 on the front, with the theory that it's going to give us more balanced braking. I think that the small rotor on the back, big rotor on the front derives from motocross, where obviously engine braking plays a big part into the bike slowing down. So obviously on a mountain bike we don't have that. Front brake is naturally more powerful, so the theory is if we make that disc smaller, make the rear one bigger, we're going to get more consistent balanced braking. And I think for downhill anyway, you very rarely brake into stop, you just brake into slow down. So we've been testing for the last few weeks anyway, seems to be paying off. And I also think that with the smaller rotor on the front, it affects the fork less. Obviously a big rotating rotor that's been slowed down is going to pull things from side to side marginally, so the smaller rotor minimises that effect. And I think it can, in theory, what we feel and stuff, obviously there's no way of proving it, but it seems to improve the fork's performance somewhat as well. So yeah, it seems to be a win-win all around. So then we're going to keep testing. Might not be on the bike again in a couple of months, who knows, but it's here to stay for now. But yeah, other than that, everything's the same. Still got the weight on the bike, still the same 500 grams. But yeah, it's Frida's bike. We did US Open last week as well, and the track there, even though Snowshoe's quite flat, the US Open track is especially flat. So we've made some changes from there. So yeah, seems to be positive so far. She had a little crash this morning and twinged her shoulder, but yeah, been to see the physio, done some exercises, stretches. It seems to be okay. So fingers crossed for tomorrow. But yeah, let's see what Josh is up to. Josh.
Hello.
The biggest news this week is US Starbucks, isn't it?
Oh yeah, pretty good, isn't it?
Talk us through your order. If his dad's watching this, he might want to turn it off. But what's your order?
Caramel frappuccino, it's just like an iced milkshake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty.
Word on the street is you asked for it with extra whipped cream as well.
Oh, I can't talk about that.
But yeah, what are you doing here? Just the end of day, normal end of day prep we do. And
Yeah, just end of day, a bit of cleaning up, making sure everything's pretty solid with the bikes and tweaking anything that's happened or anything that's wrong. So yeah, sorting out.
there we go. But yeah, that's the union here in Snowshoe. Keep in check with our Instagram and stuff. We'll be updating you with how the rest of the practices go and qualifying and races still to come. So pretty exciting. Definitely feels weird being at this point in the season where the light's at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, still in exciting times. 2 sick tracks still to come. So stoked for that. But yeah, keep in tune. And again, huge shout out to Öhlins and Öhlins USA especially for housing us this week. It's been really sick. So yeah, excited to learn more from those guys and yeah, see how we go. But yeah, thank you. See you again soon.